from it being a complete meltdown. So I think we're still good on that front there. Hey, what's up, everybody? Let's just hop right into this. What up, Suns fans? Another day, another loss for the Suns as the Suns lose their fifth straight game to the New York Knicks. Suns final score 122 to the Knicks 138. I will talk all about it in just a second here as we get things ready.
Kevin Durant delivers. Gorgeous move for Bradley Beal.
Personally, I feel like that brother needed help.
Devin Booker with the clutch three.
Sorry, I was just looking real quick at that schedule. It's really tough to see this team go from 9-2 all the way to 9-7 now, which is the Suns' record as they lose their fifth straight game to the New York Knicks. This just sucks. It's another day of just not competing and being nowhere close to competing. There's sparks of it. I mean, this team without KD or Bill, or yeah, just without those two players, we can't put together something special. We saw it against the Timberwolves before stolen from us, and we saw a bit of it from the Knicks here, as we do have that offensive firepower, but it still takes a lot of things to go even right for us to even get wins. Just another night spoiled by the New York Knicks this time, as they are our tormentors. So apparently, walking into this game, New York Knicks are the highest rated offense in the league, and boy, did that show through. They immediately blasted us to the first quarter, a 44-point quarter. It was already over from that point. I was seething. I was actually really mad, but that third quarter, that gave me some life. That was some nice. Definitely, I think what Suns fans needed there to make this game not an absolute catastrophe. If nothing absolutely happened this game, I probably changed that for the first time. But I still think there's enough things, good takeaways from this game that us Suns fans have just been kind of concerned about this team going into this stretch as we near the end of the stretch without KD and Bill. More on that. Today there was a interview where Matt Ishbia, the owner of the Phoenix Suns, Phoenix Mercury, and now the Valley Suns, he went on to ESPN, talked to Shams Charania. I've never tried pronouncing his last name before, but he talked with Shams, and he said a lot of interesting things about KD possibly retiring here as a Sun. So that is really interesting, as the talks right now are all about KD getting his extension here in Phoenix. I bet he probably will. We like KD. KD seems to like it here. So that will be interesting, seeing how KD spends the rest of his career possibly here in the Valley. But that is not the focus of today's show. As more interestingly, um, Shams was able to bring up a update on the injury of KD. Um, KD, who has now missed 7 games for the Suns, missed 7 games for the Suns. Uh, According to Shams, we could see him next week. That's right, Suns fans. The suffering might be over finally. This stretch of Suns games has just been awful to view. I've been saying it the last couple of games, but it just sucks not being able to compete. We try, but there's just nothing getting us over over that stretch. Like there's no X factor. X factor is KD, as we've just been playing absolute terrible basketball. Things have started weirdly looking better over the last course of games with some players, and we'll get to those players. But I'm just I we really need KD back on this team. I miss seeing Suns basketball being played. I mean, I'm watching it, but are we really watching Suns basketball? Not really. So hopefully KD will be back. Speaking of resting though and being back next week, the Suns. This is the final game of the Suns this week. So we've had a pretty intense schedule the last couple of days. We've I forget the real numbers, but if I'm just looking at it now, we played over like seven, 6 games, 5 games in like an entire week, all back to back to back to back. And it's just been a grueling schedule. I watched the ESPN broadcast. God rest my soul. Having to deal with that, especially that halftime show. They were clowning on the Suns. What is this? Um, but there's definitely right to clown on the Suns right now. We clearly have not been we've been disrespecting the game of basketball. Um, but so Suns played a lot. This schedule is tough, and especially in the last couple of games when you have to go against OKC, like one of the better defensive teams in the West, and like just one of the better teams in the league in general. And then Orlando, who was apparently a defensive mastermind, and then having to deal with Sacramento and Minnesota, who are both tall teams. And when you're tall, you just kind of lock into defense. Like if you're tall, we all know how that affects basketball. So rough couple of games this past week, and we're finally getting a break. I believe it's a 5-day break, where this team is just going to rest all the way until Tuesday when we have our third game against the LA Lakers, which that one is also an 8 p.m. game. It is currently 10 p.m. It is almost 11 people. I am surprised I have enough energy to be up at this point in time, especially after trash shows like that this last game. But if you think the time is bad here, imagine New York, right? Uh, New York Knicks fans that have to watch on ESPN. First of all, they got to win, so they're fine there. But I mean, take a quick look at New York. It is currently midnight. It is 12:44 over there. So I guess they get to sleep well, and we don't even get a win, and we have to acknowledge our team is trash right now. So this is pretty rough. But that is enough trash talking about the Suns. As let's get into the numbers here, the number little details that actually made me walk away from this team with a more positive note than really nothing. If there was nothing to glean from this game, I would have a totally different mood walking into this game. But I definitely think there is some positive to take away. The Suns' 3-point ball. All right, a lot of Suns were shooting pretty good from three. We ended up 38% from three. We got up 53s. I knew we were taking a lot of threes, but I didn't know 50 was the mark. Um, just holy crap. But we did tie the Knicks in their threes. So both teams shot 19 and I should say made 19 threes. So they tied there. But where the Knicks really blasted us was fast break points, as Suns again came out flat footed. Whether that be fatigue or the coaching on this team, we can't really say for sure. Um, as they just came out flat footed. This first half was really rough to watch, especially the Knicks starting out like the first 5 minutes of this game 100% from shooting. They did not miss a shot until like late first quarter or second quarter. I don't know the exact numbers, but Brunson was crazy. He apparently woke up on the right side of the bed this morning. All right. I don't know what that dude ate for breakfast. That dude is just crazy. And they were bringing up all broadcasts about he's never missed a three from the last time he was in Phoenix, which he dropped a 50 bomb, 50 burger on us. And this game, he did get 36. So we held him off there. And I will give my reasoning on that, on why I think so. Another positive note on that a little later. But Jalen Brunson still went crazy on us that first half and led to uh, that crazy 40-point quarter that I never want to experience as a Suns fan again. So let's never acknowledge it again. Okay. Also, they were just crazy on steals. They're stealing everything, and Suns weren't just playing as a complete team. We got mowed short points. We got mowed in the first half. That was insane. Never again. But I mean, the second half was really nice. Um, we finally got it down to 11 points. That was nice until it blew in our face again, and they Knicks went on a 10-0 run or like a 10 something run, and they put it back to 20. So most of this game was a 20-point lead for the Knicks. God, jeez, this game, man, this game. So I mean, other than there's not that much team stats to really be excited about. I mean, we still got blasted in rebounds, and that is mostly due to Carl Anthony Towns, as he is now on the Knicks. Um, God, we could not stop Carl Anthony Towns. That was a whole different issue for the Suns. And I think a bigger issue that the Suns need to continue before they consider themselves championship material. I should probably get this out of the way here. Do I think the Suns could win a championship now? Maybe if they're really lucky and like they have a Boston all injured run to the championship, then I'd say yeah. But I'd give that like a 20% chance of happening. I just believe at this point right now, the Suns are inadequate. They don't have defense. Defense is the biggest problem I have with the Suns right now. Even when uh, I know a couple episodes I said back, they had this issue with just doubling down and like really knowing their actions, knowing actions to go on of. That was a sentence. Um, they just seem really unsure of whether they're going to they're going to shoot it or not. They just seem really scared. None of them really go out there with the you know mindset of just I'm going to score this bucket and go. All right. There's many examples of tonight where this team had many good chances to score that baskets, but they didn't because they looked for a better option, which ended up being nothing because the Knicks were able to scramble fast enough to cover everything, and it was a wasted possession. So, I mean, that's an example of what I think the Suns have a problem in general. But their bigger issue right now and going forward, even when fully healthy, is still defense. Even when KD was on this team, interior defense was a nightmare, especially facing many of those early games. And, why the Lakers is such a thorn in our backs every year because they have their whole offense is driving down in the paint. It's annoying as a Suns fan. Okay. So I think that's definitely an issue. Suns, they have a chance to win a championship, but as they're currently constructed right now, I'd probably say like 10 to 20% chance of them actually winning the championship this year. Uh, just being honest out here, guys. So I do think I've hinted at this in later or past episodes, but we're still like a good trade away from this team being actual contenders. So I'm really excited to see what Ishbia and crew have cooking up in the wings. They're always cooking every season. I really like the front office of this team. Josh Ballstein and oh man, I'm. It's been a while since I had to remember their names. Uh, yeah, but I remember Josh Bartlestein. That's pretty crazy. Um, but I think this front office is pretty good. So I'm interested to see what we have on the trade table come around February trade deadline. So that'll be really interesting. But going further into other things I found nice, a lot of us have been concerned about our boy Book here in the Valley. You didn't see that. Book here, right? He's been pretty silent, especially against the Sacramento and OKC games when we really needed him. But I think and Orlando, I should say, also as well. Just covering all my bases. I think he's definitely made some sparks. He's still there, people. There's a heart. He's not completely washed, and we don't have to trade him off this team. Like that was even an option in the first place, okay? Because it's really not. We're never going to trade Book. So he's here, probably retiring until he's probably retiring as a Sun, all right? He's here. Love him or hate him in his current form right now. But I definitely have to say that Suns will be loving him. Suns fans will be loving him right now as he had a 33-point effort. That's right. It is 30 past Book right now. That was supposed to be a time joke, but that doesn't really sound right. But Booker gave us a 30 burger. Not as great as his Minnesota night was. His 40-point effort there, but 30 points, especially needed it tonight, where everything was seemed to be collapsing on the Suns here. They were really distracted. I'm telling you guys, I can't stress this enough. That first quarter was so bad. Literally, we needed anything to go our way, and things did get better, which I really liked. And Devin Booker definitely led that charge. So 33 points, take it or leave it. Final offer. Um, I will also compliment Booker here on his free throws. He's been really good with his free throws the last couple of games. I was in my head during this game saying, "Oh yeah, a Book has never missed it. I don't remember the last time Book missed a free throw in like the last 5-10 games." But I just had to say that as he then missed a free throw in the third quarter, I believe, somewhere around then, second half, late second half. So he did go 7 of 8 from the free throw line. But I mean, a bad 3-point shooting nights, especially when we could have really used the extra points. 2 of 7. They weren't guarding Book that close tonight. Like they weren't sending doubles to him like every play, which was nice. But I mean, if Book was even more into a rhythm, if he was even more assertive, he could definitely got that 40 burger. Burger. All right. So 5 assists, 3 rebounds. So an all right night for Book. It's enough for me to wear his jersey. So it's very bad. Oh, we have a Knicks fan in the chat. What's up, man? Dude, how is that midnight showing going for you? That's crazy, man. I can't imagine staying up to midnight watching this game. But at least you got a win. So there. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Um, but if we're getting into other positives that I have for tonight, uh, oh my God, sorry, ESPN. I don't know why ESPN is playing, and I have ESPN. ESPN freaking jump scared me. I have ESPN open in my other tab, and it jump scared me. That is terrifying. Uh, So yeah, but hey, uh, I see you com, com, I can't speak. But yeah, it's terrible. 12, good game, I guess. Rest easy. But if we're searching at other big points that I like tonight, Ryan Dunn had an amazing night. I think he's fully back. He was 2 of 4 from three. He just seems to be hitting his threes a lot more. And, I like the way he played defensively on Brunson tonight. Uh, he should have definitely been picking him up full court like way sooner in the game. Uh, but and I think maybe that's what it was tired. That's what tired the what retired the Brunsonator in the later half. So I mean, uh, Ryan Dunn tried his best out there, but it was clearly not enough for Jalen Brunson. We also got to see decent showings from Yousef Nurkic tonight. A very weird night for Yousef Nurkic. Suns fans hate him. I kind of still like him on this team, but it's really weird. He was injured the last couple of games, and now he's here. Uh, He's 3 of 5. Had a better shooting night than Grayson Allen. That's just things you don't see. I mean, 12 rebounds. He got the double double. 3 steals though. Now, I've liked what uh it's weird. It's a weird caveat in Nurkic's defensive game because he does. I've seen him like steal the ball a lot recently, but he can't guard cats. It's terrible. He just fouls every time he tries to guard cats, and it's terrible. No defense being played on cats. That is also a negative, and he was just overall a big defensive liability on this team. I can't say with confidence that Yusuf Nurkic might be on this team at come deadline, trade deadline. Um, but again, the market's pretty rough out there. I don't know what we could get for a Yusuf Nurkic out there. But I mean, like I said, we just needed anything in this terrible game in that first quarter. We needed anything we could get. So Yusuf Nurkic going that having a weirdly good night. Um, other than his defensive, uh, we'll take it. We'll take it. Taz Jones, uh, pretty all right nights. He had some defense. He had some offensive questions. He was questionable on offense at times. He really just missed a couple of threes that would have gave the Suns much needed momentum. Especially one I remember where he clanked one, got the ball back, and then clanked it again. So, I mean, uh, I don't know. I don't know, man. This team needs to get it together. Enjoy the rest. I hope the Suns could just take this rest and they come back awesome. Okay? I just I just wish. I just wish. I want this team to be competitive again, man. Yeah, absolute crazy. Royce ONeal. Okay, now we get to the interesting part. Royce ONeal ended up starting tonight. Uh, he ended up replacing Mason Plumlee or Oso. We've been trying this two towers strategy the last couple of games. So Royce ONeal coming back into starting lineup had a pretty awful first half. This guy was really bad, and I was ready to dunk on him this show. Okay, Ryan Dunn, really bad. He could barely dribble around the Knicks. Without turning it over. He had 2 turnovers, and most of those were dribbles. When he was trying to dribble the ball, he lost the ball each time. And then he had this one fast break, his only steal of tonight. He stole it, ran the mile, sandwiched by 2 Knicks, and then he missed the layup. So I was ready to dunk on Royce ONeal, but he was such a big effort and played such a big part into why we had almost comeback in the second half. Okay, he ended the night 5 of 10 from three. Holy, that is 15 points right there. That is 15 points right there. That is amazing effort. Exactly what we needed. And here's the questioning part. I'll this is basically the end of my rant on the starting lineup, but I'll merge this in with the bench here. As Grayson Allen came into the game, Grayson Allen had a terrible night. He was 1 of 8 from three, couldn't hit anything except when he went downhill and actually went to go lay up the bucket, using all that bulk and getting foul calls. But it was like exact opposites because in the third quarter, a very important quarter, we got the lead down to 11. And then we subbed out Booker, I believe, and because Grayson Allen came in. And we leaned so heavily on Grayson Allen during that third quarter. One, we needed him most. 11-point lead, by the way. First point of this game where we could have been anywhere near competitive. But no, Grayson Allen misses like 3 or 4 straight 3-point baskets and completely kills all the momentum on this team. And then just a couple threes later, the Knicks come storming back, and it's already a 20-point lead again. Actually terrible. And a terrible response coming from a Knicks timeout. It's an amazing response if you're a Knicks fan, but a terrible response for the Suns fans here. I really we should have really kept going to Royce ONeal. If he's got the hot hand, then keep feeding him. I know Grayson Allen is our shooting guard here and is supposed to be our 3-point specialist, but like he was, I don't have the stats before this third quarter uh, collapse, but like Grayson Allen wasn't shooting well before. He only made 1 3 before. He made 1 3 the entire game. And, that third quarter solidified it as this was a bad night for Grayson Allen. And I really just wish we kept going back to Royce ONeal because he was fire. He was killing it from three. Could have definitely got this into like single digits leads. And it sucks. Grayson Allen, once again, looks very questionable on this team. I really question why he had to bulk up during the offseason. It's it's a really awful thing. Blasted indeed, absolutely. And just a terrible night. Terrible coaching in that moment, by the way. So that's my tangent on Grayson Allen and Royce ONeal in general. Okay? I mean, let's get into the bench here now. I mean, it is all right for the bench. Mason Plumlee barely saw any minutes. Yeah, I didn't really think about it that much, but he only played 4 minutes. Kind of crazy that we just went to either Oso or Nurkic this whole game. Nurkic did have it going, so I mean, I guess that was fine. But he's hugely defensive liability on Cats. We tried Oso for 14 minutes. He didn't have like as great of a night as he usually does, or he has been having these last two nights, like in Orlando and Minnesota. So I mean, he is just mainly defending Cats, which we don't have an answer for Cats. Like again, the issue. I still think defense is the biggest problem on the Suns team, um, in general. So not much action from our centers, except Yousef Nurkic, and he was a very questionable talking point for tonight. Uh, but you know what we did see from our centers? We got to see Bobo. He played 4 minutes in garbage time, 4 minutes, and that was the best 4 minutes of this game. he he was 2-2, 4 points, easy. Enough said. We also got to see Monte Morris out there tonight. Um, I mean, he's definitely cooled off, but he got up a pretty three. He got some nice threes, 2 or 3, 4 or 6, 10 points, pretty nice. And then we just have trash minute players. Damian Lee in that trash minute. I don't know what that showcase was, and I don't know if like Damian Lee was. He definitely went out there trying to prove himself and get like some rotation minutes, but I think he did himself a disservice because now I'm thinking that we should just send him to the G League at this point. Damian Lee in 4 minutes of garbage time was 0 of 4 from 3, 1 of 5 in general. He had 4 points because he went to the free throw line, knocked those two down. He had an assist and steal and a turnover. Damian Lee, man, just a rough night in general. So, and then we also got to see Ty Washington play. So, yeah. Let's never talk about this game again. The Knicks fans might bring this up, and it's probably going to be mentioned again, probably a year from now, next season, when the Knicks come to Phoenix once again. But there's only one way to respond to a loss like this, as hopefully we have another blast out game and are actually fully healthy when we head to Madison Square Garden. So hopefully that game will go much more better. That is happening in April later next year. So quite a far away. These teams will be substantially different come game 2. So I'm interested for that. Yeah. Even though the Suns lose, still some general good points. It's great seeing Book score again. It's nice seeing Dunn still knowing he still has his shot out there. Royce ONeal still has his shot out there, although he still remains very streaky. And yeah, Josh Okogie had an also pretty all right night. So, and we also take a second loss in our new city edition. So we're currently 0 of 2 in our city editions. That's really rough. So I hope that's going to do it all for me, folks. So I hope you have a nice 5-day break away from this team. I hope we all get to just gain back our sanity and our mental health before we continue watching more Suns games. So that will be interesting. We will be back here. I'll be back here Tuesday when the Phoenix Suns will be taking on the LA Lakers in game 3 of the in-season tournament. We still have a chance from what it looks like. OKC, I thought OKC would dominate, but they've lost. So, I mean, if we're fully healthy when we come back, we could probably storm back in that. But I don't know if we'd like to play an extra game just to win an in-season championship. But whatever, we'll see it. We'll see what happens come game day. Once again, streak still stands. Remember, just if you like this content, please like, subscribe, comment. We had a couple of chatters in tonight's chat, so that is very much appreciated. Yeah, we'll be back here Tuesday. We'll see you guys soon. Have a good night. Don't let the Suns keep your weekend down. I certainly won't let it keep me down. And let's all forget this game ever happened. All right? Bye. See you guys next time. And Suns up.
Durant delivers. Gorgeous move from Bradley Beal.